How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Rewind. I'm so excited about today's episode, and I have a very special guest joining me on the channel today to talk about the blueprints and that update. But before we get into all that, please don't forget to like and subscribe. All of the support is greatly appreciated, and I'm so thankful for you guys taking the time to watch these videos. All right, we're gonna kick things off on the YouTube side of things. Let's take a look at who's been putting out some great content lately. All right, so today's YouTube shout out goes to Deadzone. I just started following this guy on Twitter recently and started watching his videos, and I would highly suggest going and dropping a subscription on his page. He puts a lot of hard work and effort into his videos, and they're really unique and really great Rocket League content. He just put out a video recently of the 5 newest featured training packs in Rocket League. It's a good watch. New training packs to help yourself improve in the game of Rocket League. So definitely go show some love to this guy. All right, now we're gonna go and check out some of the new stuff happening with updates and item shops. All right, so the Meteor Shower Goal Explosion just dropped recently in the item shop. I think Psyonix did an okay job with this one. I wasn't super mad about it. It's very visually exciting. I don't know who of you guys grabbed it, who's been enjoying it lately. I personally stick with just the basic goal explosions, but I'm not too mad about this one. I think they tried with this one. They tried to do something different. Also, the new Komodo car dropped with the Ignition series. I have seen a lot of positive feedback about this car. Also, I believe it was Jazer that tweeted out that he was enjoying it a lot. He just wished that it came in white or a painted version. So Psyonix, I don't know if there's something you could do about that. It might take a while, obviously, because they're pretty slow with these updates lately. But yeah, we need to see that in painted soon. Also on March 10th, a big update dropped with blueprints, and we'll get to that in a second. First of all, though, I did notice with the camera settings that they did change for the default settings, they did change the camera shake and they reduced it a little. It's so silly to me though, guys. I don't know why they don't just take camera shake completely out, give these new people coming into the game the correct camera settings for what they're gonna change it to eventually anyway, so they don't have to go through this huge learning curve of finding YouTube videos of like, what are the correct camera settings for me to use? Because they come in and they're so close to the car and they have the camera shake going on, and it's just like, what is going on? So why don't we just take it completely out, give them the correct settings that they're going to need eventually anyways. All right, the big update though was trading in of the blueprints, and today I brought with me a special guest, PickaPixel, and we're just going to quickly chat with him a bit about that update. All right, PickaPixel, thank you so much for joining me on this segment. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really, really well. Thank you for having me as well. I'm excited.
Of course. Thank you for helping out with this.
You're very
so
welcome.
On March 10th, the new update drops. What were your initial thoughts before the update dropped? Like, were you excited about it?
Yeah, I think obviously I was gonna be excited about it because when you make daily Rocket League videos, sometimes you can feel like you're clutching at straws a little bit. It's like, haven't had an update for a couple months. All right, let's just do more of the same. So when the update came out, I was wondering as to what sort of new things that brought in, and then it was like a 2-tier update, wasn't it? It was the blueprints on the 10th, and then the new items on the 11th.
Yeah.
So I was like, great, there's so much content. So I was initially selfishly very, very excited to see sort of what they brought in and what they changed.
Yeah. After it was released, was it everything you'd hoped it would be?
To be fair, yeah, I think so, because I don't think I had any unrealistic expectations of what the update would be. I initially found out, the first thing that caught my eye with the update was blueprint trade-ups, and that's something I've been asking since the beginning, because it made no sense as to why they wouldn't put that in the game.
Right.
So when I saw that was coming into the game, and then the added bonus of exotic to black market trade-ups, I was like, well, this is great.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that I wanted, and they've actually done it. So I can't really complain. And then there was the new crate items again. I thought that was pretty cool. As I didn't have unrealistic expectations of what the update was going to be, so I was sort of pleasantly surprised when it came out. I wasn't expecting the world, so I was quite happy with it, and I spent hours just sat down trading up rares, but yeah, no, it was good.
Awesome.
I do still enjoy Rocket League a lot, so any updates they give, I'm buzzing for.
Yeah. Can you quickly just cover the changes that the update brought to the blueprints for the people that might not have seen it yet?
Okay, so basically, previously when they did, I think they called it the Great Crate conversion.
Yep.
So back in December, if you guys don't know, they changed every single crate in the game to a blueprint of that series that was initially unrevealed, and then you could essentially show yourself what was in that crate, or what would have been in that crate, in the form of a blueprint, and then you can decide whether or not to pay for it in terms of credits, which is what keys were converted to. And that meant that obviously with crates there was a 55% chance of getting a rare. So as someone with 6,000 blueprints, I had over 3,000 rares in my inventory. So I'm not going to pay the albeit small amount of credits to build an item that I don't want. It's a rare, I don't want the item. But that meant they were just sat there, and I had 3,000 rare blueprints sat there. There was nothing I could do with them. I couldn't sell them because nobody wanted them, of course, and I couldn't build them, and they were just all there.
Yeah.
And I basically said multiple times, a bit of a broken record to be honest, I said that I didn't understand why you couldn't trade up these blueprints, because the reason they got rid of trade-ups in the first place was that it was essentially paid randomization, because you paid to get the item, so any resulting item from a trade-up is also paid randomization.
Yep.
But my theory was that if you could trade up a blueprint, you're still not paying for it. You still don't have to get the item you trade up to. And I don't know if Rocket League heard me say that or saw me complaining about it, or if they were always going to do that, but they basically made it so you could now trade it in. So I was myself sat for hours trading up all these rares, so now my blueprint inventory, I only have about 200 left, which is mostly black markets and a few ones here and there, which is a lot nicer, and it means I've got a lot better items out of it. So that's kind of what the blueprint update brought. I think there were changes with some audio, and they did make the inventory a little bit more user-friendly, but that was sort of the big update on the 10th of March.
I feel like that would be like the first time ever that that Psyonix has actually like listened to somebody and taken their advice. On an update. I mean, because I remember a few years ago, I think it was about 3 years ago, I made some kind of video. It was when Rocket League it felt very community orientated, and it felt like everyone was getting along. And I remember saying in a video how like Rocket League always listens to the community, and then naturally as the game gets bigger and everything, it almost looks like they don't, because there might be a glaring issue that they seem to, for no reason at all, refuse to fix. But yeah, I know that I don't think anyone had any issue with this update. I think everyone was happy that they did that. Yeah, for sure. Did this update open up more possibilities for content creators moving forward as opposed to previously?
It's kind of there was a big like influx of content that you were able to make at the drop with all the trade ups and stuff. I think after a couple of weeks, it pretty much goes back to there's not a lot of content that you can make. Like obviously the March 11th update as well with the new Ignition series, there's videos you can make with items, new cars, all that sort of thing, and then it will kind of sort of peter out. I think people are kind of already getting bored, I guess you could say, of blueprint trade ups. Like the novelty has definitely worn off. But it was a good, it was a good week, week or two. It is tough because Rocket League, it's not like another game where you can change all sorts of things, because they want to keep the core mechanics of the game the same. You don't want to mess up ranked with some kind of big update or anything like that. So they almost have to provide new content without changing the game, whereas other games, they can just flip the switch and change the game and everyone's like, wow, this is great. But Rocket League, you can't really do that.
I've seen a lot of the community still mourning the loss of crates. Do you agree with them? Do you still wish crates would come back?
Yeah, I do. I really do. That might be the addiction talking, but I mean, I understand. I get it. But at the same time, I think it was more of a preventative measure on Rocket League's part. I don't think they, had run into any issues with the law or anything like that. I think it was like looking forward, it looks like this could eventually become a problem, so let's nip it in the bud and end it there. But I think because everyone enjoyed it. It's like,
everyone loved it. Yeah.
And surely I assume they made more money then than now, but then again they might be making a lot of money from the item shop. And to their credit, the item shop has been releasing some stuff that I think, you know what, I'll actually buy that, because initially obviously there weren't any new items in the game, so they were just releasing items that already existed, and people were like, I'm not paying $2 for a rare decal.
No.
Why would I do that? Especially I've got 25 of them, so why would I do that? Whereas now they are, I suppose maybe they probably look way further ahead than the rest of us. They sort of were aware that maybe at the beginning there would be sort of an outcry, people wouldn't be that happy, but then over time it would get better. And obviously with the release of the new series, they've put the new car in the item shop. They probably made a lot of money from that. And so I'm sure they know what they're doing. But yeah, I do admit, Crates, it was just fun. Like it was social as well. You could do it with your friends, you could do live streams, and it was more than just getting the item on the screen, for sure.
More
by the end
there too.
By the end I was happy with the black market, but I wasn't, unless it was absolutely insane, I wasn't like hitting the ceiling like I was 3 years ago. But it was fun. It was fun to do. But I get why they did it.
And lastly, are there any new things you would like to see implemented into the blueprint system that you think might improve them? Such like you were saying about, you would want to trade ups and that happened. Is there anything else you see that they might be able to do that could still improve on the blueprints?
The blueprints. See, I suppose the one thing that a lot of people had an issue with initially, which they did actually change, which was good, was the price. It was very, very high, and I think I also made a video about that, offering a solution of a sort of downscaled version of prices for all the different rarities, and they took a very similar approach. Again, they probably didn't listen to me. It was probably just that was the right thing to do. But they did make the prices a lot cheaper. So I built a Striker White Zomba blueprint that I got for 1,000 credits, I think, which, I mean, that wheel used to be worth about 250 keys. And I essentially built it for 10.
Wow.
But the blueprint prices have kind of killed the market. In that sense, White Zombas are worth 10%, 5% of what they once were, which is pretty crazy. So I still think there could be room to reduce the prices even more, because a black market is 2,000 credits, like a default black market, and so that's 20 keys before the conversion to credits and keys. And these black markets that are now, if we say keys were 20 keys to build, were being traded for 3 before the update. So no one is building them. No one is trading them. So I still think maybe, I don't know how they would go about doing it, but they could change the prices, maybe just lower them a little bit more to better realign with the market. But I know you can't put a specific price on a black market. They can't take the community favorites and make them more expensive than the ones that were worth 3 keys, like a Labyrinth. They can't do that, but in some ways I wish they could. So that's the one thing. Maybe another look at the prices, because I still believe that the majority of people aren't building their blueprints. Which is obviously what they would like.
I honestly haven't even touched my blueprints ever.
Yeah, there you go. There's very little incentive.
Completely honest.
But yeah, I do like the archiving system that they brought in, where you can sort of either get items out of the way, or perhaps have an archive of your favorite. And obviously it's great for me with blind trading. I can now have a specific list of items that I want to be up for grabs. So I think that they've made positive steps, and it's not been the worst having crates leave the game. They haven't just abandoned items, and they are still clearly very into all of that stuff with the new Ignition series and other series they probably have planned in the future. They'll do events with event currency, maybe around Easter they'll do one, and the summer they'll obviously do one, and all that. So they haven't done a terrible job. I just think, certainly for me, obviously, like CRATES was such a huge thing. It's gonna be a bit worse. But I enjoy the game more than I ever have. I enjoy playing it, and I suppose that's the main thing. So
yeah,
they've kept my interest at least.
There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and
You're very welcome.
Giving a little more insight on blueprints. It was great having you.
Thank you. It was good to be here.
All right, so it sounds like with the blueprints, the community, myself included, we missed the crates. I'm sure a lot of you guys agree with me. I wish we could somehow trade our blueprints in for crates. Bring the crates back. I miss wasting my whole paycheck on keys so I can open these crates and get a bunch of crap items. It was just a lot better than these dumb blueprints. But anyways, it looks like the blueprints are going to stick around. They're trying to do more with it to make it more exciting, like with the trade-ins and stuff. But we'll see how that goes moving forward. All right, let's go over to RLCS and check in with what's been going on over there in the past 2 weeks. Okay, so I'm not going to go too much into detail about all of the games and everything going on in RLCS, but I do want to cover the big stories. I believe one of the biggest stories in the past 2 weeks was Cloud9. They had a miraculous comeback. You couldn't write the script any better. Fireburner subbing in Game 5 for Torment, who was having some connection issues, and it went to an overtime, and Fireburner got the goal to win that series for them, which was huge. That was so wonderful. It brought all the excitement back for me for watching RLCS and stuff. Even watching that, YouTube playback, it was just like you feel all those like emotions and stuff. So that was an amazing series. And then of course Torment came back against Ghost and they swept them. So Cloud9 making a miraculous comeback. We'll see where they go from here. In the EU side of things, Scrub leaving Mouse. Scrub tweeted out about it, and also it was confirmed by Lethamir. Yeah, there hasn't been any real details on the why behind that yet. I'll hopefully keep you guys posted. Maybe next episode, I'll just quickly touch on that if more info comes out. But as of now, it looks like, I guess Scrub is looking for a team mid-season. Quite interesting. If you guys have any idea of more details behind that, please feel free to drop those in the comments below. I'd love to find out more info on that. Lastly, guys, we did have to say bye to Alpha Console. A huge shout out to them and thank you for everything they did for the community and Rocket League over the past couple of years. It's really, really sad to see them go, but now they are sending everyone over to Bacchus Mod, so be sure to make the switch over there. If you're on PC, if you're on console, then get a PC. That is going to be it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love all you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you again in 2 weeks with another Rewind episode.